Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the brand new series on the channel. As advertised, it's the CFC Q&A, the Celtic weekly Q&A, which I said was going to be every Sunday, and it's actually Saturday today. But I'm on my holidays tomorrow, so I've decided to push it a day earlier just for this week. Usually it'd be every Sunday. But this series allows me to answer questions and Celtic related subjects that I wouldn't get normally around to talking about in normal videos. Videos that I couldn't stretch to 10 minutes. It allows me to touch on those subjects and lets me get my opinion across to questions that you might want to see me answer and stuff that you want to hear me talk about. So it could be stuff from the past, it could be stuff for the present, it could be stuff for the future. The rules are as follows. Go and follow the Twitter handles at CFCQA118. Post your questions every week when I put up the tweet and the replies, and they will be answered in this video. Throughout the video, the notification thing will be on the screen, the wee reminder to go and follow the Twitter if you haven't already, and you can send your questions in. We've already got our first batch of questions for this week, so I shouldn't be wasting any more time talking about how the series works. You should get it by now. If you didn't watch the video, then you're a failure to me. You should be fucking watching it. I'm joking, but anyway, let's stop wasting time. Let's just get right into it and let's get through our first few questions on this episode. As I said, you can send anything through that's Celtic related that has to do with the past, present or future. Just whatever you like, and I'll get down to answering it. If your question doesn't get answered, just feel free to post it every week, and eventually it probably will be answered. So if there's something you desperately want to know, hopefully it will be brought up one time. But alright, let's jump right into it. The first question's from Sean Farron, and he says, would I play one or two up front this season, and if I was to, who would it be? I've answered this question in my video really about how Celtic should play this season, but I'll touch on it again. This season I want to see us consistently play with two up front, and I want to see Edouard and Dembele be the consistent starters. Obviously, there is going to be issues with fitness and such throughout the year. We've already seen it already, you know, Moussa Dembele already out with an injury, so it's going to be difficult to have that consistent two-man up front. But that's what I'd like to see. I mean, that allows Griffiths to come in when someone's tired, when someone needs a rest, and they can always change it up a little bit. But I mean, for the majority of the season, I want to see Edouard and Dembele be that two-man partnership that will hopefully terrorise the league. But we'll see how it goes. We need to hope that Moussa comes back fighting fit, and that he doesn't pick up an easy injury again. Kevin Livingston asks, would I rather the standing section in the middle of the stadium rather than the corner? I like it in the corner. I think it's nice. I like the whole north curve thing. I think it's a wee bit personal. You know, you see the majority of standing stadiums or standing sections in stadiums, especially over in Germany, they usually take one of the goal ends and it's that full stand. Eventually, what I'd like to see is an expansion of the standing section, and I'd like to see it be, you know, maybe a whole stand, maybe a whole side of the stadium, if they could meet the demand for it, while also, you know, catering fans who would like to sit. I'd eventually like to see it expand and be bigger, but right now I like where it is. It's something unique, you know. Not a lot of teams have it in the wee corner of their stadium, and obviously it suits well the Green Brigade and that's it. So I like it where it is, but I would love to see it expand in the future. Matthew Glenn says, do you think that the board have a lack of ambition because of the whole John McGinn situation? He thinks it's a joke. I think the board are just very cautious when it comes to spending money. Now, a lot of people are going to have problems with the board, and a lot of people are going to be complaining about the transfer window. You know, we've only signed one player this window, and it's probably not enough. It's probably not good enough, a lot of people will be saying. For me, I can't complain about the board. I've said the same thing for the past few seasons. You know, transfer scenarios may be lacklustre. You know, we might go through these windows and we might not make a lot of signings, but at the end of the day, what the board has done and the way that they are turning our club is unbelievable. I can't thank Peter Law and anyone else enough, Dermot Desmond, anybody. You know, the things they're doing for Celtic Park, the club's reputation, and how we've performed, and getting Brendan Rodgers in. I mean, for that alone, they deserve all the respect and all the love under the sun. Obviously, we'd love to see more signings coming in. I want to see John McGinn go in, and now he might even go to Brighton, and we might miss out on John McGinn, which I'd be very disappointed in. But they know what they're doing, and I think, you know, that with a week to shut in that English transfer window, then there's a clear period where we can go and sign players without any competition from English clubs. So, I mean, we should hold our breath. Just wait. I think we might get some deals done when the English window shuts. I'm disappointed that we have only made one signing so far, but we have got a fantastic squad at the minute, a squad that is constantly improving. But I still have faith that we'll bring in a couple of players. I don't think it's a lack of ambition. I think it's just caution with money. You know, money's been spent on all different things, and you really don't want to see us get into a tricky scenario with money. And I know we've got money to spend, and there probably is a bit of disappointment to be held in the board. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm happy with the way the club's going. I can't complain. I'd like to see more signings ideally, but it's nothing I'm going to, you know, lose sleep over. Jordan Gray, hello there. A fun question from him. Samaras or Boric in their prime? My favourite outfield player and my favourite player altogether. But I can't go over Boric. If I could have Boric back in his fucking prime, I would be... Oh, Jesus. Can't even put any words. I'd love both of them in their prime. But I'd have to pick Boric if I had to pick one. One's kind of a bit out of... the Celtic question, but still has Celtic relations, I suppose. And Patrick Dolan asks, are you hoping for all Scottish teams to proceed through to the group stages in Europe? And, well, obviously Aberdeen are already out. Rangers, Hibs and Celtic, the only teams left. I'd love to see all 3 teams go through for the sake of Scottish football, to shut those people up down south who constantly want to bring our game down and try and, slag our game. Aberdeen done a fantastic job the other night. They were unlucky. I'd like to see all 3 teams go through, as much as I love to see humiliation on Rangers' part. I do love to see it, but for the coefficient's sake and for the rest of Scottish football, it'd be good to see all 3 teams go through. But at the same time, to see Rangers go out again would be quite funny. So Celtic and Hibs, definitely. Rangers, yeah, not too bothered about. But it does help at the end of the day. Owen Russell says, thoughts on Arzani? Obviously, we've been linked with him on a move from Manchester City on a loan deal, kind of similar to Patrick Roberts. Looks a promising young player, the Australian. I'm sure he's Australian anyway. I'd like to see him come in. We need that. He has a winger, so I mean, we need a winger in the club for depth reasons as well as first team quality. So I would like to see him come in. I don't know how much he can offer us. I've not seen too much from playing, but he sounds like a promising prospect. And I mean, if he's getting a move to Manchester City, obviously has some form of quality, has some sort of potential. So I'd imagine he'd be similar to Patrick Roberts in a sense, where he would be a fantastic young, entertaining player. So I'd like to see him come in. I'll probably make a video discussing that more heavily. But I'd like to see Arzani come in. I feel like it would be a good signing. Kieran Dargan asks, what is the best game that I've ever been to as a Celtic fan? He's talking about his experiences in the 3-0 Shakhtar Karagandhi game, a game that I was at myself. Fantastic game, very emotional. Obviously a last minute group stage qualifier. So, fantastic scenes there. But I mean, hands down the best game I've ever been to is the Scottish Cup final against Aberdeen. Just everything that goal meant in the 90th minute. Tom Rogic scoring that goal, doing what he done. It was sensational. To secure that invincible treble was unbelievable. It's something I'll never forget. Something I'll cherish. I've been to so many good games, so many great Champions League games, so many great Old Firms. Just anything. I was basically Champions League twice. I've been to so many great games, but the emotion behind that, the feeling of victory, the feeling of securing that invincible treble, doing something that never been done before, it was truly, honestly, one of a kind thing. I'll never see anything like it ever again. The way it was done, unbelievable. Best game I've ever seen live, but without a shadow of a doubt. Adam asks, what is my opinions on the redevelopment at Parkhead if they were to up the capacity, make a 4th stand for equal all the way round? Honestly, I like Celtic Park the way it is, and I think we should keep it the way it is for so many reasons. I think number one, it's a nice traditional look. I like the way it is just now for aesthetic reasons, but I mean, honestly, the main reason is it's a stand we wouldn't be able to fill in the majority of Premier League games. When it comes to Champions League games, when it comes to Old Firm games, yes, we'd fill it. It'd be a pack. Just imagine it, 75,000 people in Celtic Park. It would be absolutely insane. But the fact is, we'd have that problem where the 4th tier lies empty. Or the 4th stand lies empty, the upper tier. Which is something I wouldn't like to see. It would be quite, demoralising in a sense. It'd bring in money, I suppose, more tickets to be sold, but I just don't think we'd fill it on normal games. Unless we had a guarantee we'd fill it, I wouldn't go ahead with it, but it would make a difference. So it is something to be considered. It probably, for a lot of people, is what they'd like to see. For me, I like Celtic Park the way it is. The way it's been redeveloped right now, we've got a fantastic stadium. There's the phone. Can't do videos without interruptions, can you? It's just impossible. I know I cut off basically what I was saying, but I like Celtic Park the way it is. I'd keep it. Anthony asked, I believe that Lee Griffiths has a future at Celtic, playing in the bigger games, Champions League games, Old Firms, etc. I do believe he has a place. He's a fantastic striker. He's got quality. He can score goals. He's a danger man. He's a fantastic finisher. We've seen it time and time again. He's just in a position now where he's got to work hard to get in over to, class strikers and Dembele and Edouard, and I'm sure he will. I'm sure there's still faith installed in the guy, and I think a lot of the fans are still behind him. Everyone's behind him. I don't see why we should dismiss him because we've got 2 strikers. I'm someone who firmly believes Edouard and Dembele are better players. But at the end of the day, Griffiths is a man who's got quality. He can score goals. And he's Scotland's best striker. We've got to give him a chance for the sake of the national team. I know either that we're going to be stuck with fucking who knows up front. Or like McBurney. So, I mean, Griffiths, in my eyes, still has a place in the team. He's got a job to do this season. He's just got to, as the same as Dembele, keep himself fit. And I'm sure he'll still get a place in the team now and again. And when it comes to big games, I don't think he's going to be the first name on the sheet. But if he scores goals and he keeps consistency up, you never know, he could be right back up there in front of Edouard and Dembele. We just need to wait and see. And the final question from this episode comes from Ross Ferns, who asks, what is the worst Celtic 11 of all time? And he's meaning as an actual team, like not picking 11 players as an era. You know, there's a lot of teams in the 90s that people may talk about. In my lifetime, it's simple. The worst Celtic 11 I've ever seen is that Tony Mowbray side. It was absolutely unbelievably shite. You know, it's just a shambles of a team. Didn't do well at all. Mostly down to the manager. Would the manager have changed it? See, if we had a different manager, would it have been different? Maybe so. But even at that, we weren't looking at a great team. You know, Marc-Antoine Fortuny, Landry Nguemo, a lot of aging players as well. You know, a lot of players were getting older, and we sold a lot of our best players at the start of that season. So, you know, it wasn't a great team. That is easy enough to be said. But in my lifetime, it's easily the worst Celtic 11 we've ever seen. Nothing comes close to it. So that's an easy one to answer for myself. In my lifetime, that's it. I mean, I can't talk too much about sides in the 90s. I wasn't around in the 90s, so I couldn't tell you a fucking thing. Experience that week in, week out. So, aye. If you have enjoyed the first episode of the CFC Q&A, please leave a like and support the series. It'd be fantastic. Make sure to follow the Twitter and look out for the tweet during the week for episode 2 next week. And let me know your thoughts and such. If you have enjoyed, like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.